If you're anything like me, you probably love food and you probably find it incredibly difficult to lose fat. That was me at 248 pounds. I was constantly starting new diets, slashing my calories, and within just a couple of weeks, I would give up. When I finally figured it out, I lost 70 pounds of fat. And in today's video, I'm going to reveal to you 3 secret weapons that I found along the way that allow me to eat more food, train smarter, and made sure that I didn't quit when I usually would have. The first weapon is cardio. Look, at the end of the day, in order to lose fat, you have to be in a calorie deficit. You need to burn more calories than you consume consistently. And the way that most people go about that is by cutting back on the amount of calories they consume. And whilst yes, you should do that, if you cut your calories too much, there are so many problems that can arise from that. The reason that so many diets fail is because too many people shrink their calories to the point where it's completely unsustainable. One of the biggest mistakes I ever made when I was first trying to lose fat is I decided that I was going to cut carbs to go on a keto diet, and I was also going to cut my calories massively. I was aiming to eat around 1,600 calories a day, and my maintenance at the time was 3,200. And within a couple of weeks, I lost 6 pounds of fat. And at the time, I was ecstatic. Then on week 3 and week 4, I felt like shit. I was tired all the time. I was moody. And I literally had zero energy. And that eventually caused me to quit the diet, binge eat, and put on every single pound that I lost straight back on. Cardio completely flips this. Instead of trying to starve yourself lean, you simply move more and create the deficit from the other side of things. Imagine your maintenance calories is 2,500 and you want to lose 2 pounds of fat per week. You need to be in a 1,000 calorie daily deficit in order to do that. And if you decide you're going to do that through diet alone, you'd have to eat 1,500 calories a day, which is really brutal and very hard to maintain long term. Whereas if you had a cardio in, let's say 10,000 steps a day and 3 20-minute incline treadmill sessions a week, you'd then be burning 600 extra calories on average per day in any given week, which means you could add an extra 600 calories into your diet, so you could be eating 2,100 calories a day and still be losing 2 pounds of fat. That's the difference between feeling like shit, feeling tired, and giving up, and being able to stick to it for months and seeing insane results. And speaking of being able to stick to it, if you have absolutely no idea what to eat, and you're not the kind of person that wants to eat boring chicken, rice, and broccoli every single day, and you'd rather be eating meals that you can see on the screen right now, click the second link in the description of this video and you can get my free fat loss Kickstarter blueprint, which has many recipes like that, as well as a workout plan that I still use to this day and more. Again, that's for free, so make sure you go and get that after this video. Now, an argument that many people will make is more cardio equals more hunger, which is absolutely true of high intensity forms of cardio like sprints or HIIT circuits that will leave you feeling starving after and craving sugar. The kind of cardio that I'm talking about is low intensity, steady state cardio, the kind where you can stick your earphones in, put on a podcast, and easily bash out 20 to 60 minutes. Walking in particular is the absolute king of cardio. It burns way more calories than you can imagine, and it doesn't leave you starving or tired, and the incline treadmill is essentially just walking but on steroids. Something else you need to understand is that slashing your calories by too fast is going to absolutely destroy your metabolism. And before you know it, you'll be burning fewer calories at a resting state, making it feel impossible to lose fat. Our bodies evolved to go through periods of famine, and your body isn't aware that we live in a world today where food is plentiful. So from your body's perspective, if it's suddenly getting way fewer calories, it's going to assume the worst and do everything it can to protect you. Cardio fights that adaptation because it says to your body, hey, we need that energy, we're active, and it keeps your average burn rate higher. That's why people who diet without cardio tend to plateau very quickly, because you can only cut your calories by so much before you're literally starving yourself. Whereas when you add cardio in, you keep that buffer and even increase it, so you can eat more calories, more protein, and more nutrients and still lose fat. And this is something that isn't spoken about enough. Not only is cardio going to burn more calories, but it's also going to give you endorphins, mental clarity, and decrease your stress, which makes it way easier to stick to a diet and to stick to a fat loss phase for longer. Cardio also regulates your hunger hormones, ghrelin and leptin, managing those cravings and hunger. And then there's the biggest benefit of all. Cardio, meaning cardiovascular, meaning your heart, the most important muscle in your body, which literally keeps you alive, gets worked when you do cardio. So by doing regular cardio, you're not only increasing your lifespan, but your health span. So look, stop viewing cardio as optional or some kind of punishment. It should become an everyday staple in your life, just like showering or brushing your teeth. At least I hope those are staples in your life. But in all seriousness, cardio is going to allow you to burn more calories, eat more food, de-stress you, and improve the health of your heart, increasing your health span and your lifespan. So do cardio. The second weapon is build more muscle, and I cannot stress this enough. If your goal is to lose fat, this is an absolute cheat code. So many people, including myself not so long ago, think weights aren't necessary if your goal is losing fat. But the reality is the more muscle you have, the more calories your body burns, even when you are doing absolutely nothing, because muscle is metabolically active. So by adding a few pounds of the stuff, you increase your calorie burn in all 24 hours of a day. Hence why you see muscular guys able to eat a shit ton of food and still stay lean. Second to that, if you don't lift weights while being in a calorie deficit, even if you lose 20 to 30 pounds, you're just going to end up looking like a smaller, soft, skinny fat version of yourself, and you're going to be disappointed. Yes, the scale will show a lower number, but why the fuck does that even matter if you look soft, skinny, flabby, and you're still unconfident? Muscle is what gives you that lean, athletic, confident look that every guy wants. When you say you want to lose fat, what you really want is a tight stomach, broad shoulders, and arms that fit out a t-shirt. All of that comes from, you guessed it, weight training. So let's talk about how you're actually going to build muscle whilst you're in a fat loss stage, because most people get this incredibly wrong and all they focus on is volume. In fact, there's still some myth that goes around to today that says if you do 20 to 30 reps of weight, you're going to be toning your muscles. That is complete bullshit. The only thing that matters in the gym is getting consistently stronger over time. You don't need to be doing 30 sets of every exercise, just forget volume. What you want to be doing is 12 to 15 sets a week on your bigger muscle groups, being your back, your legs, your chest, and your shoulders, and 6 to 8 sets on your biceps. If you are consistently getting stronger every single session, you are guaranteed to be building muscle. And when you combine that with cardio and being in a calorie deficit, that gives your body every stimulus it needs to burn fat and build muscle, which is going to equal the body that you want. When I finally combined weight training with a calorie deficit myself, everything changed. I lost weight, yes. The scale went down, yes. But I no longer looked like a deflated balloon. I looked stronger, leaner, more athletic, and I was more confident than ever. And that's the thing, building muscle isn't just physical, it's psychological. You feel completely different when you know you are strong, your muscles fill out your clothes, and you are progressing in the gym. And that's when your whole identity starts to shift. You go from a fat guy who's trying to lose weight to a guy who is lean, strong, and confident. Like seriously, if you told me a couple of years ago when I looked like that just a few years down the line now I'd look like this, and not only would I look like that, but I'd be coaching other guys to do it, I would have literally laughed at you and told you that you're a fucking moron. But that's how crazy that building muscle actually is. It changes your entire life. So look, cardio is the weapon that's going to allow you to burn more fat, eat more food, and stay in a more sustainable deficit. Building muscle is going to boost your metabolism, allow you to actually look good once you've lost fat, and rewire your brain. The third weapon is accountability. And this is genuinely what I believe makes fat loss inevitable for any person. When I was fat, I used to go through constant cycles of doing everything right for a week and then completely falling off. I would come home tired one day, I'd sit on the sofa, stick on Netflix, and before I knew it, I would have ate thousands of calories. And I'd sit there and say to myself, it's okay, I'm gonna get back on track tomorrow. And then tomorrow I wouldn't, so I'd say I'm gonna do it on Monday, and then maybe I would, maybe I wouldn't, and eventually I will get back on track, but I'd go straight back into one of those cycles all over again. Look, when you spend years or even decades negotiating with yourself a way out of doing the things you should be doing, it's way too easy to skip the gym, to order the pizza, to spend the whole weekend drinking, because nobody but you knows, and that's exactly how you end up stuck where you are for the rest of your life. Triceps, calves, and abs. But the second you get some accountability in your life, everything changes. Think about this. If you have someone checking up on what you've been doing that week, if you've been doing what you should be doing, have you gone to the gym, have you done your diet correctly, you are way more likely to actually stick to it because you don't want to be a liar to that person and you don't want to let them down. It's way easier to let yourself down than it is to let someone down that isn't you. And accountability can come in multiple forms. It could be from a coach, it could be from your girlfriend, from a friend, it can literally be from posting your fat loss journey online. It doesn't matter if that accountability comes from a stranger or from someone close to you. The point is, you need accountability in your life in one form or another. Personally, for me, I had a couple of people that I would meet in the gym periodically and train with them. And we also had a WhatsApp group. It was 4 of us. And every now and then, when one of us was thinking of quitting or we weren't sticking to what we said, the other 3 would say, "What the fuck are you doing? Get back to it." And that really helps all of us. And the thing is, accountability doesn't just keep you consistent. It also gives you a different perspective, which is really important when you've been in a calorie deficit for long periods of time and you think it's the end of the world because the scale hasn't moved for one day or you ate one cookie. And then your coach or your friend or your girlfriend or your group of friends can give you a virtual slap in the face and say it's fine, just get back on track. So if you've been struggling with consistency for a while now, one of the best things you can do is get some accountability in your life. Find someone to keep you accountable, whether it's a friend, a coach, people online, because sometimes all you need is just someone to say, get the fuck off the sofa, when all you want to be doing is laying on the sofa, watching Netflix and eating shit. I can tell you from personal experience, when I stopped trying to do everything alone and I built a small layer of accountability into my life, that's when everything changed, and that's when fat loss became way easier and I saw results. So look, if you use all three of those weapons, I can guarantee you, I can promise you, you will lose fat, it will become way easier, and you'll actually be able to keep the results that you get. And by the way, if you want me to be that person that keeps you accountable, click the first link in the description, book a call with me, and we can have a chat and see if you'd be the right fit for my coaching. Other than that, I hope this video helped or you learned something from it. Leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.